There's no problem anywhere else with homeless living, but it's always problem right here in this city, Harbor City. The resources is bad, you know what I'm saying? But all the other city got shower for them. They could go eat in the evening, warm meals and everything. By them moving them from Lomita Boulevard, these people ain't been able to eat right. Because people was seeing them out there, was come donating them food. They got You know, we got people out here got mental issue. We got people who've been through abusive family, and we have people out here, you know, that got caught up in the drug life.
It's a long story, but I'm gonna make a long story short. I lost my parents, and I started drinking, and I just started being irresponsible, and this is where I'm at right here. Well, the city put us over here. Because like I said, everybody got this spot in their name, but my spot is taken, so that's why I'm here. As long as I can fight over, because I feel safer right here than over there. If we were clean, there would be no problem, but we're not all clean. I mean, like bring trash and they just collect more trash. That's what it piles out, and it looks bad because, you know, it's just, and there's somebody walking over here, and I mean, driving, and it just can't make it over there because it's too much. Too much stuff piled everywhere.
Well, I was 3.5 years old. I caught my brother, which was 15 years old, smoking dope, smoking marijuana on the side of the house. And I told him, I'm gonna tell Dad. He said, no, you're not. Try some. 3.5 years old, 4 years old. Gave him some marijuana, yeah. I can still remember it. That's why before I go, just get one of these. So that you know, pretty much ruined my life.
The way we feel out here, we feel like we're being harassed. I mean, we're not trying to hurt anybody. We're not trying to harm the businesses. We're not trying to do any of that. We're, you know, just trying to live here. We all used to be across the street, actually, in the fields, and then they moved us. They've moved us in all different places. They've moved us from the field. They moved us to Lomita. They moved us to right here. The city, they've placed us here. They make it a little bit hard. By every week, they want to do a cleanup. And yeah, I know a lot of people, they do have a lot of stuff.
And when you say
cleanup, I mean by the company. They provide. They want it. You know, they ask for it, and the city, they come and they do the cleanups, and the police come as well. And then they wait there for like 5 hours, and as they clean up and these tractors and everything, and they clean up the spots, and everyone has to come back. You know, the reasoning for everyone being out here is pretty much substance abuse. It could be, you know, housing. It could be families not around anymore. People just don't have anybody. You know, they're alone. You know, just all the above. Everyone's got a different story. So none of them are really the same. And some of them are a trip sometimes, but they, you know, they've made it out here and they've been out here for 30 years. You know, some been out here who just got here, and they learn quickly how to survive out here. It's all a survival thing.
At any given time, I would say there's about 100 to 150 homeless people down here.
And is that the numbers are like during the day, at night?
It fluctuates. During the day, there's fewer, and at night, the numbers rise. And you can look on the cameras that we have, and you can see at night, once our gates close, they kind of all just start moving out into the street, and there's fires going. People come in 2 to 5 times a day and give them food and clothing and tents, tarps, and other articles they feel helps them. So our family business has been here since 1948. My grandfather started as a gas station, service station, and convenience store on the top lot on Vermont. And as the years went on, as he saved up money, he started buying the lots in the back. At one point in time, they had 10 acres here. The city took a section of it through eminent domain, and my grandfather donated another section of it to the church next door. And we're down to 6.5 acres, what we have now. And my dad has made this what it is today into a salvage yard in the 60s. He's the one that started expanding it. And in the 70s, he got into doing buses as well as automobiles. And then in the early 2000s, we went exclusively to large vehicles. City Council is getting a lot of heat from everyone to do something about the homeless problem. So what they did here was they went from moving them from Lomita Boulevard, where they're visible to the public, where you get maybe 50,000 plus views a day. You move them into front of someone's business and what they call an alleyway in an industrial zone. And they then only get a couple hundred views a day. So in the big picture, City Council can tell the rest of their meetings, they can say, you know, we got rid of the homeless on Lomita Boulevard. They got rid of them, but where did they put them? And they don't shed light to things like that. Yeah, when they showed up here, I had some interaction with them, and they basically said that this is the lesser evil, deal with it, because they're not letting them move back to Lomita Boulevard. And since then, they put K-rails as barricades on the sidewalk so the homeless wouldn't move back there. We initially, when the first City Council moved them here back in September, the immediate problem was urine and feces everywhere. And the problem is it's a dry, dusty road, so they do their business in the ground, and then it dries up, and then it becomes airborne when the trucks drive through, and it's a health hazard to breathe that in. So within the first 3 days they were there, we could see the problem happening. So my dad and I got 2 portable restrooms, and we put them out there, and we get them serviced twice a week, and they are full to the brim each time they come in. Sometimes we've had to have it pumped 3 times a week. It costs us a few $100s a month to have them serviced. And the other thing we'd put out there too was immediately, because all the trash just accumulates everywhere. People bring them food, the packaging and stuff, the stuff they drag in. We put a 40-yard roll-off bin out there, and we had a talk with all of them and asked them if they would please put all their unwanted articles in there and use the restrooms instead of using the dirt like they were before. And it's just a constant reminder. You'd see a mess, you'd go out and say, hey, would you guys please put that in the bin? Or you catch someone peeing behind something, it's like, hey man, we put a restroom out there. Like, have a little respect for your community.
I mean, I do understand if we kept it clean, a lot cleaner. I will admit, it can get really disgusting over here. It can. I mean, I try to keep it up as much as I can, but you can't train everybody.
There's 2 bathrooms here for female and male. Over 100-some people here.
Yeah, Zackers are trying to help us. But sheriffs don't allow it because they don't. I guess they don't like them. We're gonna fine them for the trash around here because the city's got to pay to come clean up the trash. But shit, they help us with that. The city's got to come here and clean up because these people are lazy. They don't want to clean up the trash around. But them help us. They help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I think that they had came at one time at us, Zuckers, there was an issue, somebody that had broke in there, but they're no longer over here.
Yeah.
So now they just want us out. They don't want us here. And I understand, I mean, it doesn't look pretty. It never will look pretty, because homeless is not pretty. But it's just how it is, and it's what it is. So.
I'd say about 10% of them aren't problematic. Like, they're most of the time, I would say. There's always about 1 out of 10 that's fairly straight, that can kind of police the others if you have a problem and someone's too strung out to deal with. There's usually 1 of them out of about every 10 that you can get. And then we probably know about 50 of them by first name basis. They're emotional roller coasters, a lot of them. And then there's a few of them that kind of keep it together regardless of how they are. Like if they're, how would you say, acting out, or they're getting coming down from the side effects of the drugs they're on. They're either on the rise or the fall. Their temperament can change, and it's just you just get used to learning how to approach different ones. Yeah, I worry about them breaking in all the time because when people get high on meth and other drugs, things they normally wouldn't do sober, there's no limits to what they'll do when they're high. And they get good ideas in their heads and they go and execute them. And I've had, since they moved them here, I've had 6 thefts, I've had 2 break-ins. Where they came into the yard, they pulled the fence panel off, stole batteries, they cut cables out of buses, vandalized vehicles, breaking into them just to see what's in there. We haven't had a break-in inside the yard in about the last 4 years, and since they moved them here, we've had 2 confirmed ones where we got them on camera, and a couple other times we've had stuff missing, but they could have come in through an angle where we didn't have cameras. It's affected a lot of our small parts sales. There's a lot of our women customers don't want to come in. They'll wait until there's a time where it's convenient to send another person or come in there with a man because they don't feel safe coming through. And there's a lot of violence out in the street. There's the guys walking by and just real shady looking, and a few of my female customers have had very unpleasant experiences with some of the homeless. One of them was even sexually assaulted a while back. So, it adds fear to the clientele base I have. Some people are used to it, they just come in, still doesn't affect them, and there's a few that we have to deliver parts to, and we have to go out of our way for customer support on them. And my employees, they don't like going outside of the gate by themselves. They don't feel safe, so they always go out in pairs or ask if I'm out in the street working this on something or drive one of my trucks, they'll come out, but they won't come out on their own out of fear for their safety and well-being. My secretary, she's had a few bad experiences where she's gone out to her car and there's someone walking down the street yelling and screaming, and they struck her car with their hand as she's getting into it. So since that experience, she won't go down in the yard or anywhere around the front unattended, for her own safety.
So ever since the homeless got here, in September, I believe it was, I can't go down to the yard anymore. They've threatened me before. One of them has said that they'll come up here and kill me because I was walking by his tent. And he made sure he told the guys down in the yard too, to let me know. I never had any other interaction with him other than walking by his tent. But they feel like, I guess we're invading their space. And when I have to go outside to run an errand, mailbox, go, ship stuff off, I make sure I look at the cameras, make sure there's nobody wandering, because it's actually happened in front of my eyes where they vandalize cars. Well, somebody has to be here when I leave just to make sure I'm not alone. And I don't like being here alone. If there's nobody in the yard, I don't like being here. There always has to be someone here. I even told him, I don't like being here by myself. It just feels unsafe.
I've seen every one of them light up something, whether it's marijuana, methamphetamines, an opiate of some sort, popping pills.
So the ones that are all up here, these are all for housing people. So.
Oh, because that's the next step.
Yeah, supposedly it's supposed to be the next step. It hasn't really gotten that far yet, but they're trying. Like I said, there's a lot of us, so it's hard.
Because we were here until we get the housing. To get the housing, yeah, we'll be out of here. They got the money to help us, and they're helping us, but it's just nobody's getting housing. A few people only, It's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Slow process.
They all say they want housing, but there's been a number of times where someone's come by to pick someone up. They're asking around for a name, and have you seen this person? Because they're take them into one of the homes. The problem is you go to these homes and they're regulated. You can't bring your drugs in there. You can't bring your random articles that most people call trash, like myself, that these people have as their treasures, their life belongings. And you can't bring all that stuff in, and that's why the housing things won't work. They'll work if they let them bring their drugs in there.
Right.
But if they don't let them bring their drugs in, they're content living the lifestyle they have.
So I think from all the people that are down there, maybe at least like 80% are on drugs. Like you go down there, you smell it, you see them, they have no shame. Like they'll be smoking or whatever the crack pipe is. And I don't know. I think that's what leads to their mental issues because they'll be crazy in the road. Like sometimes like doing like snow angels in the dirt or like working out in the middle of the road with the trucks passing by. So that has to be like substantial drug issues. And it's like they thought we were bringing the city to like clean them up. But it was like we were the ones that set up the trash and we set up the bathrooms for them.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're working to help you, not to, yeah, we don't want them there, but they're there. The city put them there. What can we do?
Right, you're trying to make the best of the
Yeah,
situation.
because they were like going to the bathroom like everywhere. There was feces everywhere. They were peeing everywhere. They were leaving bags of like feces like in the road in the middle. Like it just smelled so bad down there.
I think the problem with the city council is they get too much. They're trying too hard to go for the easiest solution, and the quick solution, they're having a lot of heat for people on Lameda Boulevard. Let's get them out of view. And same in Watts on Imperial, where they had a lot of problems with them. Just let's get them out of sight, out of mind. Let's deal with it later instead of dealing with it now.
This is the only thing I got right here, my dog. That's the only thing I got, my dog, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you see all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's hard to tell every single story because we all got problems, you know? They say if you more than 6 months in the street, there is something wrong with you, and there is something wrong with us, for sure.